I want to talk to you guys today about capitalism, socialism, and communism. As you know, we live in Canada, which is not a capitalistically driven society. Whereas if we were to do a direct comparison to the United States, it is very driven by capitalism, if not is structured completely on capitalism. So, capitalism is referred to as an economic system where individual actors own and control property according to their interests, where supply and demand freely determine market prices in a way that can best serve society. Now, in light of that, we need a responsible capitalism. We need a free market economy with some degree of government control in order to prevent the excesses and injustices of capitalism, which are definitely things that we're seeing by all of our fearless leaders right now in Canada and the US and elsewhere in society. Socialism is an interesting little thing that we'll talk about as well, because essentially socialism is one step away from communism. And it doesn't always seek to build a communistic society or system of government. However, it can be very close to a communistic government, as we can see with socialist policies that get put in place, which we're living that dream right now in Canada. Communism, as we know, with countries like China, is definitely about complete authoritarianism type governments where the individuals don't have any level of say. No place for religion in communism. In socialism, people can freely promote their own religion. However, I will say, living in Canada for the past few years, it's not been fun because if you have Christian values, you're pretty much out to lunch and you are completely disregarded in our society. And that, of course, is based on where we stand right now with our current federal government and all of the policies that they've put into place. So, the reason I'm talking about all of this is we need a capitalistic society in order to create a free market. And by that, I'm going to say, when is the last time that anything that our government has implemented and taken complete control of worked out well for the Canadian population? So we have a problem in housing. Obviously, I'm going to speak to that because this is the area of expertise that I'm in. We have a lack of housing right now. However, we have people on the fence about purchasing right now because interest rates are high. Why are interest rates high? Interest rates are high because our fearless leader decided to continue printing money when we were not in a position to be able to afford to do so. All of our debt as an economy is serviced in US dollars. The Canadian dollar is not holding up well to the US dollar or the Mexican peso for that matter. So we have a bit of a cluster, you know what, in order to have all of this function in a free market society that is advantageous for us, the taxpayers. So Canada is falling rapidly down the list for quality of places to live. I think Toronto has just fallen off the list. Calgary is number one ahead of Vancouver on the world stage right now. That says a whole hell of a lot for us as a society. So we need for our government to stop meddling. There are lots of homes on the market right now. Average price points, I pulled Burlington up today just to give an idea to myself and my business partner of where we're sitting economically in the housing market. 3-bed, 2-bath. We are back to 2021 prices right now. We are definitely in more of a buyer's market right now. We are seeing market price corrections happening in real time, week by week. They are actually coming down almost on the same level that they went up during COVID. So, in order to have a society that's thriving, we do need some level of capitalism, and we do need a dynamic system that promotes a free market and profit. And when I say profit, I don't mean gouging people. What I mean is that you want a raise. How do you get a raise? You get a raise by the company you work for profiting, because if they're not profiting, they can't afford to give any extra out. So in the tier of business, you profit You pay tax on that profit. Whatever you have left, you disperse to your employees in the form of increased wages, which of course is dumped back into our system with CPP, EI, and taxation. It's dumped back into our system on your level of increased wages means that you can go out and buy a new car or buy a better quality car, put an addition on your house. You could put that apartment in the basement and rent it out, only for the government to take the money at the end of it because of the cap gains that they've just implemented. Um, so, what I'm saying right now is we need a free market where people are actually thriving in the economy and they are putting back into the system. I mean, if you want to look at communism, I mean, that's basically Marxist. We don't really want to go down that road, obviously, which we all sort of feel like we are right now, especially with the direction that the government has taken us. We've seen a big backlash in the Toronto riding, which was heavily liberal inundated, and now they just threw out the liberal government and conservatives have taken over because we are craving conservatism. We want the conservatives. We want fiscal responsibility. We want our own religions back. We don't want to have all of this woke policy shoved down our throats 24/7. That we're not authorizing any of it, but our leadership is taking it upon themselves to do that. We need a capitalist society in order to build more houses. We don't want the government to take over building houses. They are not going to save us. They are going to waste our money, tie it up in red tape, and nothing will happen, which is indicative of what's been happening over the past 8 years that this guy has been in power. We need our value system back again, and capitalism will allow us to do that. We do need some level of governing bodies to ensure that it is not a completely free market. We need mechanisms in place to determine prices. We want customer satisfaction. How do we get that? We have that in a free market. My partner and I were just in Nashville on the couple weekends ago, totally spontaneous trip. And it was probably one of the most enlightening holidays that I've had in a really long time because the value system there was amazing. I've never had so many people hold doors open. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Just polite, asking how you are, genuine, authentic care, as opposed to what we have seen the decline of Canada take place. We are in a buyer's market. We are correcting. Pierre Pollievre can't fix all of this if he gets in. It's going to take decades to recover from this disaster, the money printing and the constant handouts that have been given to other countries. I do feel that we are going to see our interest rates dropping. Everything is leading in that direction. Bank of Canada, Swiss Bank, Bank of UK, Bank of Europe are all putting pressure on the US to lower the interest rates. I'm not sure. I think July is their next assessment. Because we all service our debt in US dollars. And although the US is doing well right now, none of these other countries are doing great at all because our economy is not thriving right now. We just do not have the population or the economy, the capitalist economy to support it. House prices have been holding steady. We have been seeing them correct in real time. We're sort of seeing them on a little bit of a hold right now. We're entering summer, so that will be interesting to see where that goes as we go into fall and if they continue to drop more interest rate, 0.25%, which is my prediction on it, to see where we'll be at for the end of the year for the 5-year rate. I do think there's hope out there. It's going to take a little bit of time. There are tons of deals out there for housing. There's tons of homes out there that are actual real market value. Yeah, if you need any help with anything or want an assessment, please feel free to reach out to either Frank or myself. We would love to help you. And hold tight. We're in for a little bit of a ride here with what's going on in our system. But I do think that the good will prevail. Peace out. Love y'all. Ciao for now.